Hey everyone, Fuseman coming at ya. When I put out the crypto API videos back at the beginning of January, there was one interesting thread that I was having a great conversation with Merrick Borky. Hopefully I'm not butchering that name, but it was around privacy. And we were talking a little bit about kind of the APIs, whether that exposes a user's identity because it's tied to your email. I would argue that it's not really privacy concern because anyway, you can always create multiple emails and you can associate them with different accounts if you're really worried about privacy. But fundamentally, I think there are privacy concerns when it does come to the blockchain. That can lead to problems, especially in the GameFi space, where if you know everything about what I've done on the blockchain when it comes to a financial point of view, you can treat me different from other players if you really wanted to. Broadest sense of the metaverse, that could be a little concerning for a lot of people. Really allow everybody to know who I am, and not necessarily who I am, but what I'm doing with my content. Privacy is not talked about enough when it comes to Web3 and blockchain. And so I wanted to address pitfalls when it comes to privacy. And to be honest, in my mind, privacy is probably the easiest knock against blockchain that no one talks about, compared to a lot of the BS arguments that I see online. I really wish both people would address it, both from a technological standpoint as well as from the usability standpoint. So that's what this video is going to be briefly talking about, is exactly kind of privacy, some of the technologies that exist around privacy, and what I would really hope to see moving forward to really ensure that privacy is kind of a key component when it comes to blockchain and blockchain gaming in general. So as I mentioned, most blockchains today are public ledgers. What does that mean? That the state is readable by everybody on the chain. So if I have your wallet address, I can read everything on the chain about your wallet. And that means that I can know all of the people that you've transacted with, from an address point of view, from a pseudo identity point of view, and I can know how much they own and how much you own and how much anything in general of anyone connected to you in this kind of graph of people that you're transacting with own. To some degree, that's a little bit scary, right? Because if I store everything in a singular wallet, then you'd be able to, if I interact with your game, actually see how much of crypto, whether that be Ethereum, whether that be Polygon, whether that be Binance, you'd be able to read the state actually across all chains, if I'm using it across all chains, of all of my holdings and the history of my holdings. That's today something that's kept mostly private through the banking industry. That's generally a good thing, right? You don't want to be exposing your account balance to any random Joe that's walking down the street. And that could be definitely a cause for concern. So and if you look at kind of what I've done with my wallets, I typically try to keep my personal wallet separate from any of the wallets I expose online, with a couple key exceptions. You can manage it in such a way that you're using a different wallet address for everything, but that becomes a giant user experience problem because no one wants to manage a lot of wallets. Ideally, they want to manage one and have a smooth, seamless experience when it comes to managing that one. So I think from that perspective, we've got a lot of work to do to actually make it easier for users to take a simplified user experience and interact with games without revealing their whole earnings and exposing that to everybody. There are a couple key technologies that are working to solve this problem, and I think they are incredibly important from a default perspective to blockchain. So just as an example, right, on Litecoin, they've been working on this whole kind of integration with Mimblewimble, which is a security protocol that enables you to prove through zero knowledge proofs, basically, and there's a great video on that I'll definitely make sure to link, prove that a transaction has happened without revealing who is sending, how much is being sent, and who it's going to, which is incredibly important for privacy. From a technology perspective, there's definitely some progress being made. You also have applications like Tornado Cash, I believe, that allow you to actually mix your transactions with somebody else and then output an amount to a different wallet so that no one actually knows how much you actually own and how it's getting chunked out to various different people. There are ways to work around privacy when it comes to either Ethereum, Litecoin, etc., but it's not exactly easy. And because it's not exactly easy, not many people do it. You run the risk of course, building out games that are targeting based on that public information. So just as an example, right, just in the free to play economy of games, the way they monetize is typically on whales. By really focusing the game towards whales that are playing the game, that are kind of cash cows that are spending money, they're able to ensure that they can stay profitable, given the vast majority of players are free to play. What happens if I already know someone's actual net value? I could start targeting those players very differently from my other players. And I think that's the part that gets really scary. You can start building applications that kind of take advantage of some financial stature. And that's not ideally, right, the place that we would want the metaverse to be in. I mean, you want transparency always to some degree, but it starts to, of course, raise problems when it comes to being able to see account balances and act on account balances in that regard. Like I said at the beginning of the video, that's probably the easiest knock against play-to-earn games and blockchains, and I will definitely respect that point of criticism. I think it's completely valid. So knowing this, of course, as a player, you're gonna want to continuously spread your assets around in various different wallets. Yes, it's a pain, but it's definitely worth it in that regard. And then I think eventually long term, we really need to start supporting more privacy focused solutions, say like Litecoin, say like Monero, say like Zcash. I think that's absolutely critical if you really want a trustless decentralized ecosystem that avoids these problems when it comes to spying. Because at the end of the day, if you want pseudo anonymity online, but I don't think the way that things are implemented today, it makes it fairly easy for your identity to be perfectly found online. And if you have that not only encourages things like government spying, which is a problem to some degree, but also could be a benefit depending on how you look at it. But I think that the bigger issue is kind of from the commercial angle. It starts to really break down how people look and view people, right? You ideally, in this kind of economy, you want people to be looked at equally and not in a caste status type of system, which is what will happen if you know everything about a person, including their financial net worth. So I think as game developers, if we're trying to build out a healthy ecosystem, we should definitely be talking about the privacy aspect more and trying to bring that to the forefront of the Web3 conversation, because it is incredibly important when it comes to actually adopting privacy-based technologies and making sure we're not going down the path of, say, a decentralized Facebook authoritarian state where you have the metaverse spying on you. To avoid that, we do definitely need to start thinking and talking and discussing why privacy matters when it comes to a decentralized metaverse. I just wanted to summarize that problem in a nutshell and just kind of talk through it. I don't have specific ways that this needs to be addressed. I mean, other than just some of the key high-level technologies that I talked about, there definitely needs to be a lot more thought and effort, I think, put into making sure it's also very user-friendly for people to proactively use privacy as opposed to thinking about it behind the scenes like I'm kind of doing in this video, that we should be enabling, I think, as a whole community. That's just my take on that. Love to know down in the comments below if you have other takes on the privacy topic or if there's technologies that I might not necessarily be aware of. Feel free to also continue this conversation over on Discord, but I think that'll wrap it up for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. This has been FuseMan, and I'm signing out.